back to our live tour of the Star Trek set in Kingsland, Georgia, and we're back in the engineering deck, and this is a great part of the tour because it's truly a two-story set with the second floor, just like they built starting going into the second season of the original series, and they also have the engines and the impulse drive and all kinds of stuff. We're going to show you that in just a minute. I'm going to stand up and show you that. But first, just take a quick peek here. This is Scotty's console right after you walk into the door of engineering on the left. This is actually Scotty's console. And if you look, it also doubles as the phaser control console because there's the actual buttons you would see on the phaser control console. The one time I think we saw that console in the one with the Romulans anyway, but I draw a blank when I get on here with all the episode titles, but I'll think of it in just a second. Anyway, there's a lot of cool things to tell you about all these consoles. They literally have put lights in them, they blink, they do all of the things. This one here, I want you to see this blinking. Now, if you're a geek like me, you may remember in the original series, okay, this exact pattern was blinking here. And I'm so pleased to see the attention to detail that they pay to these sets when they built them. Vic Mignogna and all of his friends built these sets to make fan films and honor Star Trek. And I want you to remember, the original sets were struck, meaning they are gone, okay? Some of them reused, some of them were used as scrap, and some of them were literally dumpstered. And what we have now is very few things that actually were in the original. I believe I was told today there's actually several original data tapes that they have under lock and key that they use for production, just so that they can have something from the original series that was on the original actual original series that you can see on film. Some film used prop that was used again in this. There's just not that many of those out there, but there is a few. This set was built from the ground up, and it's been moved once, and it was bought by someone who really loves the franchise, and he has got a group of really great people here to volunteer, and it's just an absolutely wonderful thing that they do here. And I'm so glad that Paramount allows all of us fans to do things like this. There's agreements made, and they are giving blessing to most of the things that we want to do. There's a few things like they don't want us making feature-length episodes and things like that. Okay, we understand. Business is business, and to allow us to all come out here and dress up in costumes and walk around this ship and build an entire set for ships and shoot shows and put them on YouTube, they allow us to still do all of that without suing. And they literally have come to an agreement and allowed us to do it. So what you hear in the background is the end of one of the Star Trek Continues episodes that's playing on a large screen out in the hallway. That particular episode's a really good one. It has John DeLance in it. He played Q, if you remember. The Star Trek Continues was shot on these sets, and it is an amazing fan production. It shot 11 episodes until the agreement with Paramount was reached that they were not going to shoot any more feature-length episodes. But we do have those 11 episodes. Paramount has allowed us to keep those and put them out. And so they did. They kept them, they put them out, and we now have those. If you have not seen Star Trek Continues, go look it up. It's 11 episodes. It finishes the 5-year mission, and it is definitely worth seeing. It's amazing, all the loose ends that it ties up and everything. And so I think it's absolutely amazing. So check it out. That's Star Trek Continues. Just look it up, Star Trek Continues. There's also a link to it on the website here, which is neutralzonestudios.com. neutralzonestudios.com. Don't put the in there. It's just neutralzonestudios.com. And they work on this studio all the time, trying to continue to preserve what's here. And here's the other big thing they do here. You can rent this place. Yeah, you can have a wedding on the bridge. at your reception in engineering. It's pretty cool, all the stuff they let you do. I don't think they'll let you bring drinks in there, though, but it's pretty cool. You could literally get married on the bridge of the Enterprise. So I think that's really cool. The sets and everything can be rented out for birthday parties. I'll tell you what, if I had a son that was into Star Trek like me, and I could rent this place out and have his birthday party on the bridge of the Enterprise, okay? There's no better gift for a child that loves Star Trek like I did when I was growing up. So if you know a kid like that, or maybe an adult like that, and you want to throw them the best birthday party ever, it's right here in Kingsland, Georgia. It's in the southeast corner of Georgia, right north of Jacksonville, Florida. It's about a 6-hour ride for my wife and I, and we're spending a couple days up here going through these studios and checking out all the really cool things there is. Notice the sound effects. They play them in each room, and you can, as you walk around the set, you not only see, but you hear what it should sound like in that room. And I think that really adds to the ambiance and to the nostalgia. First time I walked into that bridge and sat down in that chair and looked out that view screen, I got emotional. I mean, it was something else to actually see that and to be able to do that for the first time. It was just absolutely amazing. And so I think it's cool. I think this is just an amazing place. So if you're into Star Trek, you have to check this out. All right, now without further ado, as I promised, before the next tour comes in the door, because right now there's no tours pending, I want to go ahead and give you guys your tour of the engineering deck, where Scotty and his crew kept the Enterprise going and got them out of the sticky wicket every time they managed to get in one. And I still use that word, sticky wicket. All right, so here we go. This is the engineering deck, and what is really cool about what they did was they have made something here. They have made something here that is absolutely, completely 2 stories. Now I want you to look at this. Look up. They built the ceiling. I mean, come on, folks. They built the ceiling. There was several episodes that called for someone to be unconscious in engineering, and it seemed to be the logical thing. They built the ceiling, and they started building the ceiling out of plywood. And they built the first section, and they went to see how it would work, and they realized it was so heavy that they were afraid that by the time they got the whole roof built, that it would come down and kill somebody. And so they decided the only way to do it is styrofoam and paint. And the ceiling, there's the ceiling of engineering, 2 stories up, made of styrofoam and gray paint. These people are ingenious. I just absolutely love it. All right, and then behind me, you see the control surfaces there on the left and right. Now remember, in the real, in the original series, I should say, this ladder was not in the first season. In fact, if you remember when Kirk fought Khan was in the first season, okay? Space Seed, it was in the first season. When they came into engineering, this ladder was not here, okay? Because they didn't put that in until the 2nd season. There was no 2nd floor. The engineering deck had one long console all the way down this wall. So that was one big change in here. There was something else that was in that Khan episode that we never saw again. Can you guys tell me what they were? Right here? Those white things, remember? Kirk finally, he flipped it upside down and pulled it out, and he beat Khan half to death with it. Remember that? And they only were there for the 1 episode. They put them in, they shot the episode, and they took them right back out again. So that's how they did it back then. Because a lot of times in these little shows that aired on standard definition televisions, people didn't notice things like that. Well, things are being remastered now. People like me are Trekkies, and we notice everything. So what happens? You know, we notice that kind of stuff. But anyway, look at this. These are the, well, and it's kind of ambiguous as to which set of engines I'm looking at, because technically they refer to it as both impulse and warp, and it reacts to effects on both systems during the show. So it's a little ambiguous as to what set of engines this is, and is that part of the same engine? This thing here with the Horta eggs on it? Do you think that? And by the way, painted balls, painted red balls from the gym class, and that's what they used for Horta eggs. And if you notice, after the Horta episode, these balls showed up in engineering. They're like, let's not throw these things out, man. They look really cool. So they ended up in engineering on the engineering deck. This is the dilithium chamber that holds the primary dilithium crystals that they funnel the power through to power this. Now, I want to tell you something about this behind me. This uses something that Walt Disney has used for years, okay? It's called forced perspective. Each pillar behind me is smaller in both length and size, meaning that room behind me is only 10 foot deep. But my mind, when I look through this grill, my mind knows that room is 70 foot deep. It's called forced perspective. Look at it. Look how deep that room is back there, but it's not. And there's really no way to show you unless I walked around behind the set and shoved my camera in over there. There's really no way to show you it, but everything is smaller in the back. Even these big side panels, they actually are not square. They go down to almost a point at the end. But it gives you the impression that this room is just very big, when in fact, it really isn't that big. So there you go. And that is the main engineering. Like I said, don't forget the Horta eggs. Look, check that out next time you watch the show. It's the Horta eggs. And we thought, what is this? What exactly is this? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's stuff. That's like styrofoam pieces that came packed around a VCR, and a piece off a charcoal grill, 3 PVC pipes, and a bunch of numbers on them. Now, the numbers on the pipes, they kind of mean something and they kind of don't. I'm leaving that as a mystery for you to discover when you come to Kingsland, Georgia, and see the sets here. They're just absolutely amazing. And I want you to have some mysteries when you get here. I don't want to give you all the answers today. This side of the set over here is used for other things. And so it's basically just a wall and a door. But if you remember in the original series on that side of the set, several things happened over there. Remember, Kirk went around when he was looking for Ben Finney, remember, in Court Martial? He went around the other 2 big engine pieces over here, and it was around back there. Remember when good Kirk and evil Kirk met each other, and Spock gave evil Kirk the mind meld, or the Vulcan neck pinch, and the phaser shot, and it blew up the transporter control system? That happened right over there on the other side of engineering, which they have not built here for this set of sets because it was never needed for production. And then of course over here, a lot of things were shot in this area of engineering where the engines are. Of course, that's where in the Enterprise incident, that's where Kirk and Spock had to that's where Scotty had to put the deflector on top of the deflector control system somehow over here on the engines. I'm not sure how, but he had to put the cloaking device that Kirk had just jacked from the Romulans, and he had to put that in there and get it working. And it's also the spot where Scotty and Spock were fitting the odd-shaped dilithium crystals from the episode Guardian of Elas. And that was great because she had these dilithium crystals on. And when they asked her where she got the crystals, she says, oh, they're common on my planet. And that explained why they were being attacked. Her planet's full of dilithium crystals. Of course she's going to be attacked. Anyway, so there you go. There's a good shot of engineering there. And then back over here, this is Scotty's control panel here, where he would always hit and say, Captain, we don't have the power. The captain would say, I'm not accepting that as an answer. Go back and do it again. And Scotty would go back and figure it out. And that was pretty much the crux of many of the stories. You remember this lights up here? The red and the blue light on the wall? Right? Khan, when he came down here and he hit the buttons on the panel and he was going to blow up the ship, that was the red light that was blinking faster and faster during the fight to let them know that the ship was about to blow up. And when Kirk hit the appropriate 4 buttons, the light went back to green again, and that kind of relieved the tension in that episode. So that's what that light there means. And of course, right over here, this is the intercom that was used by Scotty a number of times to deliver the bad news to Kirk that the ship was broke and he wasn't going to be able to fix it right away. But and then right over here, and it's not here because the studio ends here, but right here, just slightly further down, the Desilu Studios, just so you know, this sits in a 10,000 square foot facility, okay? The original Desilu building was 100,000 square foot. So this sits in a much smaller building. This room actually went about 8 more feet that way or 10 more feet that way in the original studio. Right here was where the M5 computer killed the crewman as he was trying to get to the trying to get another power source and was tapping power directly from the warp drive. And that's where that happened right there. So lots of really cool stuff. There's a shot of Scotty hanging onto that screen back there while the ship rocks. If you look carefully, it was used in 3 episodes. Check that out. And there's another one here. Jimmy Doohan's son hurt his finger on this screen shooting one of the Star Trek Continues episodes. So the history here and the history of what this is made to look like are both amazing. And so I'm glad you guys are all here with me. And we're going to be continuing to do this throughout the weekend. This is just an amazing place to hang out. The people here are wonderful and amazing. And it's great to go somewhere where everyone's a Trekkie, even the janitor. So I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. But my name is Ian, and this is Starship Adventures, and live from the engine room on the USS Enterprise. We'll see you guys in just a little while. Have a great day out there. Thank you for watching.